Alright, this is going to be part 2 of chapter 62, 762, petroleum storage tank systems, above ground storage tanks, and rules coming soon. Rule forms coming soon. Alright, 1. Zoom, text width. Alright, Rule 62, 762, 701. Repairs, operation, maintenance, storage tank system. For general repairs, repairs should be performed in the component with the storage tank system discovered to have discharge contributed to discharge of regulated substance or release of regulated substance or an above ground storage waters bottoms of the secondary contained with the presence of the groundwater interstice with the double wall pipe or the operational structural component of the component with the result of the discharge relief, and if the repairs required for any of the component with the part of the storage tank system or nature of the repair activities or the condition of the component part of the system requiring the part may result in the relief, the component of the part cannot be otherwise isolated from the system. The storage tank system shall be taken out of the operation until the tank has been repaired or replaced. The restriction against the storage tank shall be operational, not implying if the system contains a heating oil, other fuels used in solely generation of the electricity for the removal of the storage system from the surface would result in the shutdown of the electrical generation units serviced by the system. The repair shall be made with the manner with the prevent discharge for the structural failure of the corrosion of the remaining operational life of the storage of the tank system in accordance with the manufacturer's specification and National Fire Protection Aid Association Standard 30 for applicable reference and standards to restore the structural integrity of the storage tank system. Repaired components shall be in tightness tested, pressure tested, and tested for the breach integrity as applicable before being placed back into the surface. The repair of the fiberglass reinforced plastic tank shall be made with the authorized representative of the tank manufacturer as a successful in accordance with the subsection 62, 762, 5012, Florida Administrative Code. Piping the damage has been caused by the discharge of regulated substance shall be replaced and repair of the pipe section failures may be repaired in accordance with the applicable standard subsection 62, 762, 5013 for the Florida Administrative Code. Replacement on additional length of the pipe at the contact with the soil are exempt with the requirements of the secondary contamination, provided that the piping shell does not have and will not have to install secondary containment until the deadlines established in Rule 62, 762, 511 Florida Administrative Codes. B. The length of the replacement additional piping is less than 25% of the total length of the existing integral piping for the individual tank of the 100 feet, whichever is less. The cathodic protection shall be installed, operated, maintained to provide continuous corrosion protection to metal components of those portions of the tank integral piping in the contact with the soil. Inspection testing requirements. General storage tanks systems equipped with any type of the cathodic protection must be inspected with the tested in accordance with corrosion with a professional cathodic protection tester within 6 months of installation of the repair, at least every year thereafter, and in accordance with the criteria contained in the NACE International RP 016996 of the RP 019393, applicable factory installed galvanic cathodic protection system may be tested every 3 years. Impressed current system, the storage tank system with the impressed current system shall be inspected with the intervals not exceeding 2 months. All sources impressed with the current shall be inspected. The evidence of proper functioning shall be output normal and power consumption signal indication normal operation satisfactory electrical state with the protected structure. Impressed the current system that inoperative for the cumulative period exceeding 1,400 hours shall be assessed with the corrosion professionals to ensure the storage tank system is structural and free of the corrosion holes operation in accordance with the design criteria. Alright, impressed current system, the storage tank system with impressed current system shall be inspected. The intervals not exceeding the 2 months. All sources of impressed current shall be inspected. The evidence of proper function shall be in current output, normal the power consumption, a single indication, normal operation, satisfactory electrical state with protected structure, impressed current with the system and operative for the cumulative period of exceeding 1,440 hours shall be assumed with the corrosion professional to ensure that the storage tank system is structural sound free of the corrosion holes, operational in accordance with the design criteria, structure, sacrificial anodes for the storage tank system with sacrificial anodes shall either the permanent testing station for a soil to have a structural potential measurement with the using the temporary field testing station and annual testing in accordance with the subparagraph 62, 762, 701, 1B2A Florida Administrative Code. Storage tank system with the cathodic protection system that cannot achieve the maintained protection levels in accordance with the design criteria shall be repaired in accordance with subparagraph 62, 762, 701, 1B2A and the Florida Administrative Codes, or be replaced out of service in accordance with the subsection 62, 762, 8001. Florida Administrative Code. The records of continuous operation impressed with the current system. All the cathodic protection inspection testing activities shall be made in accordance with the paragraph 62, 762, 701, 1B of the Florida Administrative Code's operational maintenance. Spill containment devices, dispenser liners, piping system shall be maintained and provide access for monthly examination. Water removal is necessary. Water collected spill contamination devices, piping system, dispenser liners with the distance that is above the opening integral piping connection of any regulated substance collected within these storage tank systems. Components shall be removed by either either reused or properly disposed of. Owner operators should ensure the available in the tank is greater for the volume. Regulated substances to be transferred to the tank before the transfer is made shall ensure that any of the transfer repeated monitored to prevent overfilling of the spilling. 3. All release detection devices shall be tested annually to ensure the proper operation. The testing should be conducted. The manufacturer's specification should include the minimum determination whether the device operates as designed. Petroleum contact with water. The storage tank system shall be managed in accordance with the Chapter 62, 740 Florida Administrative Codes. Exterior coating may be maintained in accordance with the SSPC PA1. Regardless of the method of release detection used, the inventory control shall be performed in the above-ground storage tanks containing vehicular fuel, and those does not have secondary containment, stormwater management, secondary containment system. Movement of the relief of the stormwater facility from the facility should be performed in accordance with the all applicable department rules. For example, Chapter 6225 of the Florida Administrative Codes, regulation for the stormwater discharge. Owners and operators advised for the other federal, states, and local requirements may apply for these activities. Accumulated stormwater shall be drawn off within 1 week after the rainfall event, unless another frequency is allowed for the facility stormwater discharge. The permit and other instruments such as the spill prevention control countermeasure plan of the department permit does not be discharged without the treatment if the has visible sheen. If gravity drain pipe that are used to remove the water from the deck of the field areas, all the values involved shall be kept closed except when the operator is processing the drain water. API 653 inspection. Field directed tank sales shall be evaluated. The retesting frequency established implemented with accordance with the API standard 653. The above ground storage tank category B and category C tanks shall be evaluated at the time of the installation. Initial examination. The above ground storage tank, the category A, category B tank shall be completed with the December 31st, 1999. Evaluation will be certified with a professional engineer registered in the state of Florida with approved by an API 653. Inspector noted restrictive testing shall be performed with the qualified personnel as specified with the API 653, API 650. A field directed tank shall be repaired in accordance with the API 653. Testing the pipe in contact with the soil. Small diameter piping shall be tightened and tested before placing backwards into the surface whenever the dispenser connected to the piping are replaced. Whenever the piping has been disconnected, then reconnected. Hydrant piping and bulk product piping shall be pressure tested in accordance with the paragraph 62, 762, 641, 3E of the Florida Administrative Codes before placing them back into service. Bulk product piping extending over the surface of water shall be tested annually in accordance with the Title 33, Part 156, 170 of the Code of Federal Regulations. Be maintained, operated in accordance with the Title 33, Part 154. Applicable secondary containment system shall be repaired and necessary to maintain the product tightness, contamination volume of the system, including the seals and cracks in concrete, repairing punctures to maintain the containment wall of the storage tank. Secondary of the train system of the has a crack and puncture. Other defects of the compromise the system product tightness of the system shall be repaired in accordance with the paragraph 62, 762, 5011E of the Florida Administrative Codes. Overfill the protection shall be performed in accordance with the API recommended practice 23050 and FPA 30 in section 210, each for each of the field erected above ground storage tank that receives the fuel and mainline pipeline of marine vessels. Specific authority statute 376.303 Florida State Law implemented 376.303 Florida History News, June 21st, 2004. And that was closed comment. Alright, we have this one to go, and another one. 62, 762, 711. Record keepers. All the records should be maintained in the permanent form available for the inspection of the Department of the County. If the record is not kept at the facility, they should be made available for the facility and another agreed upon location upon 5 working days. Notice such access for that facility should be provided with a compliance inspection conducted with the reasonable times. Record of the following: the record of the keep of the 2 years. Measurement of the reconciliation of inventory is applicable. The repair operation maintenance record of the release detection results, including the electronic test results, regardless of the frequency. Monthly visual inspection performed in accordance with the paragraph 62, 762. 641 E2E Florida Administrative Code. The presence of regulated substance order within sheet 3 of the product that shall be recorded with each of the sampling event. Release detection response level description. A copy of all the test data results gathered during the tightness test and pressure test by each of the integrity tests and the name type test is approved under the 62 762 85 1 Florida Administrative Code. Certification Financial Responsibility Form 62 761 to 903. Record of the type of the fuels that are stored in the per tank of the repair of the placement of the gasket, valve packet, the valve flanges, connection, disconnecting, fitting of the bulk product piping. The repair of the placement is performed. The response to the discharge loss of the regulated substance records of the following generated after July 13, 1998, which shall be maintained for the life of the storage of the tank system. The result of the internal inspection, non-destructive testing, any performance claim for the release of the detection equipment described in the writing of the equipment of the manufacturer installed install and record the storage tank of this installation, replacement, and upgrades. Record the installation, maintenance, and inspection testing of the cathodic protection system in accordance with the NACE and standards of site suitability determinations in accordance with the subsection 62, 762, 64.1. 2. Florida Administrative Code vapor monitoring plans. All records kept with the pursuant with the plan. The closure assessment report. If the location continues as a facility specific authority. 376.303 Florida State Law. Florida Management Dated 376.303 Florida Statute History News, June 21st, 2004. And this is probably the last one. Let me check real quick. Well, we got 801. All right, 662, 762, 801 out of surface enclosure requirement. The temporary out of surface field directive the storage tank of the system that has temporarily out of surface shall continue to operate, maintain corrosion protection in accordance with the paragraph 62, 762, 701, 1B, the Florida Administrative Code. The tank shall has external release detection method, performance release detection monthly in accordance with the applicable provision 62, 762, 601, 6 through 641. Florida Administrative Code, leaving venting system opening and functioning out of service storage tank system of the general with the storage tank system that are taken out of service defined in subsection 62, 762, 201, 53. The Florida Administrative Code shall continue to operate, maintain corrosion protection in accordance with paragraph 62, 762, 701, 1B, Florida Administrative Code, perform external release detection for the site without contamination applicable every 6 months in accordance with the provision of subsection 62, 762, 64.1, 42, Florida Administrative Code. Leave the vent lines open, functional, empty with the system cap at the screw, secure all lines, pump the mainways, and ancillary equipment as applicable, secure and close off the system and the outside access if the storage tank system is required for the upgrade during the time that it is out of service. It shall be upgraded and replaced in accordance with this chapter before it is returned to the service. The system and secondary containment installed with the operator with the accordance with the chapter remain if the continuous out of service status for 10 years after the period of the system shall be returned for the service and closed in accordance with the section 62, 762, 801, 3 Florida Administrative Code. The type of test pressure for the oven tester shall be performed in accordance with the subsection 62, 762, 641, 3 Florida Administrative Codes as applicable. Any system begins in return service. Systems without secondary containment shall not be remained the continuous out of service status for more than 5 years. Before expiration of the 5-year time period, any of the remaining products and sludges shall be removed and closure assessment shall be performed in accordance with the subsection 62, 762, 8014 of the Florida Administrative Codes. The above-ground storage tank, the Category A and Category B system, regardless of whether the taken out of the service December 31st, 1990, system taken out of service after July 13, 1998, out of service tank, the return to the service shall be inspected and evaluated in accordance with the subparagraph 62, 762, 513B1, Florida Administrative Code for shop fabricated tanks. Structurally evaluated in accordance with the API standard 653 for the ill-directed tanks, unless the system has been out of service for less than 6 months, and the field-directed tank change with the typical type of the product stored within the tank shall comply with the API standard 653, section 224. Closure storage tanks in general, with the closure of the storage tank that shall be performed by the removing all the liquids accumulated sludges. Disconnecting, capping, removing integral piping mainways shall be secured for preventing access. Closing the storage tank in accordance with the paragraph 62, 762, 801, 3B with the Florida Administrative Codes is applicable. Conducting closure assessment in accordance with the subsection 62, 762, 801, 4 Florida Administrative Codes. After the closure, storage tank system may be used for the store material store of substances or other regulated substances in accordance with the applicable Department of Reference standards. For example, the API 1604. The owners and operators are advised that the other federal, state, and local requirements may apply to these activities. Monitoring well associated with the closed system that are not being used with release detection of the site assessment purposes should be closed in accordance with the paragraph 62, 762, 6011K. Florida Administrative Codes. Unmanned maintained systems shall be permanently closed within 90 days of the directory. 90 days of the discovery of the tank shall be rendered free pollution vapors for the time and closure prevented hazardous explosive conditions and maintained with prevent future explosive conditions. The tank should be protected with the flotation in accordance with the NFPA 3E section 26. Closure assessment of the storage tank system A. At any time of the closure of the replacement, installation of the secondary containment, change of the surface regulated substance to the non-regulated substance, and assessment shall be performed and determined if the discharge from the system of the system components has been occurred. If the site rehabilitation completion order, the monitoring ordering plan approved order has been issued, the department for the contaminated area of the site closure assessment shall be performed for any of the subsequent storage tank system removal, replacement, installation, and secondary containment. 2. Tank and pipes other than system components in contact with the soil at any site of are subject to the closure assessment requirements. B. The closure assessment is not required for the site documentation containment requirements. The site assessment in accordance with the Chapter 62, 770 Florida Administrative Codes, including those that are eligible to the Earlier Detection Incentive Program, the Florida Petroleum Liability Restoration Insurance Program, or the Petroleum Cleanup Participation Program pursuant to Section 376, 3071, and 376, 3072 Florida State Statutes. Nevertheless, documentation procedure filed results obtained with during the closure shall be reported with limited closure summary report form 62-761-908 in accordance with the section A of the DEP storage tank system closure assessment requirements. 2. System initially installed with the secondary containment provided with the now unexplained positive response with the inter-seal release detection device and method that occurred and during the operational life of the system. Secondary containment passed on the breach of the integrity test prior to the closure. System upgraded with the secondary containment that had been closed with the interstitial spaces with a closure assessment was performed with the prior to installation of the secondary containment provided with the secondary containment passed with the breach of the integrity test in accordance with the paragraph 62, 762, 64, 3A Florida Administrative Codes. Double wall shop fabricated above ground tanks with a storage capacity less than 1,100 gallons with upgrading with the secondary containment and that they are evaluated from not in contact with the soil. Instead of performing the closure assessment, the visual inspection may be performed on the system of the grade surface underneath for signs of a discharge. Written certification shall be provided to the county within 10 days after the installation of secondary containment documentation that there has been no discharge closure assessment. The sampling analysis should be conducted according to the DEP's storage tank system closure assessment requirements. The closure assessment report shall be submitted to the county within 60 days of the completion of any of the activities listed in the paragraph 62, 762, 8014A. Florida Administrative Code shall report that shall include the sample types, the sample location, measurement method, site map, method of maintaining quality assurance, quality control, any analytical results obtained during the assessment, and the accordance with the DEP storage tank system closure assessment requirements. Persons are advised that contaminated soil that excavated, disposed of, or stockpiled on the site during the exclosure of the storage tank system is regulated by Chapter 62, 770 Florida Administrative Codes. Specific authority of 376303 Florida State Law and 3763303 Florida State History News, June 21st, 2004. All right. Alright, 62, 762, 85, 1. Alternative requirement, equipment approval. The alternative requirement. Any person subject to the provision of the chapter may request in written determination of the secretary or the secretary designee that any of the requirements of the chapter shall not apply with the regulated storage tank system, that the facility shall request the approval of the alternated procedure for the requirement. The request shall set forth the minimum of the following information: the specific storage tank system of the facility in which the exemption is sought, the specific provision of the chapter 62, 762 Federal Administrative Code, which exemption is sought, with the basis for the exemption, the alternative procedure for the requirement which the approval is sought. The documentation demonstrated the alternative procedure for the requirement provided with the equivalent greater degree of the protection for the lands and surface water for the groundwater of the state is established with the requirement. The documentation demonstrated the alternative procedure with the requirement is least effective if there is established procedure of the requirement. If any alternate procedure requirement is not available to be sought under the paragraph, subparagraph 5 and 6 of the documentation for the demonstrate if the specific provision of the chapter through which the exemption is sought to impose regulatory costs on the regulated entity that could be reduced through the approval of a less costly regulatory alternative requirement that provides a substantial equivalent degree of the protection of the lands and surface waters, groundwaters of the state as established in requirement. See, within 90 days of the receipt of the request of the approval of the alternative procedure for the requirement, the department shall approve the request and notify the responsible party in writing that the request does not demonstrate that the requirements of the subsection 62, 762, 85, 1 Florida Administration Codes are met. Alright, D. The Secretary's designee shall specify the order of alternative procedure requirements approved on an individual storage tank system facility. In accordance with these rules, shall issue an order denying the request for such approval. The department order shall be agency action reviewable in accordance with the section 120.569 and 125.7 Florida State statutes. The provisions of this rule does not preclude the use of any other applicable relief provisions. 2. Equipment approval. Storage tank systems equipment into the use in the state of Florida must be approved with the department before installation or using, with the exemption of the dispenser into islands, nozzles, hoses, monitoring well barriers, manhole fill boxes, covered valves, cathodic protection testing, metals, cobalt, protodic piping, small diameter piping not in contact with the soil unless piping extends over into the surface waters, vent lines above ground storage tank vents. Equipment approvals requests should be submitted to the department demonstrating that the equipment will be provided with equivalent protection meeting the appropriate performance standards contained in this chapter. Any approval of the denials received from the other states shall be included with the approval request for the department. A third-party demonstration of national recognized laboratory shall be submitted to the department with the application. The third-party demonstration shall provide a technical evaluation of equipment. Test results will verify the equipment will function as designed, and professional certification that the equipment meets the performance standards contained in Rule 62, 762, 501 Florida Administrative Codes. D. Within 60 days of the receipt of the request from the Equipment Approval Department shall approve the request or notify the responsible party in writing that the request does not demonstrate the requirements of subsection 62, 762, 85, 1, 2 Florida Administrative Codes are met. The secretary's designee shall specify and be by each of equipment approval that is approved in accordance with the rules shall issue an order to deny the request for such approval. The department order shall be an agency action and reviewable accordance in section 125, 69, and 12. 12057 Florida State Statute, Section 376, 303 Florida State Laws implemented 376, 303 Florida State History News, June 21st, 2004. And I believe we got one more of these to read. And it's pretty lengthy. All right. 762 to 891. Mineral acid storage tank requirement. Definitions of the following word phrase of the term used in the rule, unless the context indicates otherwise, shall have the following meaning. Above ground means with more than 90% of the tank volume is not buried below the ground. Surface above the ground, the tank may either be in contact with it or evaluated above the ground. Contamination, integral planning of the CIP means the documented, designated, created, maintained at the facility, which shall be considered a public record made available to pursue the provision in Chapter 119 Florida State Statute. The contamination integrity plan with the established procedure for the inspection maintenance program for the tanks storing mineral acid for the facility. The inspection maintenance for the program shall be designed for the chemical or physical characteristics of the specific mineral acid stored for the specific material for the construction of the tank. The contamination integral plan shall be designed to ensure the control of the specific mineral acid for the accepted life of the tank. The discharge includes but not limited to any of the spilling of leaking, seeping, pouring, misapplying, emptying, emitting, emptying, and dumping of any of the mineral acids which occurs which affects the lands and the surface of the groundwaters of the state. The discovery means that the related to the discharge into initial detection of the mineral acid of the groundwater to the surface water, initial detection of the soil contamination resulting from the discharge of mineral acids if the quantity is greater than the amount of the reportable in Rule 62, 762, 89.1 Florida Administrative Codes. Existing storage tank means that the tank that was installed before January 7, 1992. The installation is considered to have begun if the owner or operator has obtained and has applied to all federal, state, and local approvals. The permit is necessary to begin with the physical construction of the site and the installation of the tank. Either continuous on-site physical construction installation program has begun over the owner or the operator has entered into the contractual obligations which cannot be canceled or modified without substantial economic loss. Facilities means that any non-residential location of the part, therefore containing the above-ground tank of the tanks that contain specified mineral acids that have been individual storage tank capacity greater than 110 gallons. G. The flow through the process tank means the above-ground tank that contains the hazardous substance with the specified mineral acid and the form of the integral part of the production process through which and with they are steady, the variable, recurring, the intermittent flow of the measured material during the operational process flow through the process of the tanks included but are not limited to seal, vapor recovery unit, surge tanks, blending of the feed tanks, the check of the delay tanks, batch tanks, oil, water, separators tanks in which the mechanical, physical, and chemical change of the material is accomplished. Inspection and maintenance plan with the means of the plans established in the procedure used to prevent release of the mineral acids. Liner means that an artificial constructed material of sufficient thickness and density with composition that will contain the discharge of any specified mineral acid for the above ground tank until such time the mineral acid can be neutralized and or removed. Liner shall prevent any of the escape of the specified mineral acids with accumulated liquid of the soil, surface, water, and or groundwater except for the secondary containment that is provided with the paragraph 62, 762, 89, 1P Florida Administrative Codes. Mineral acids mean for the hydrobromic acids or hydrochloric acids, hydrofluoric acids, phosphoric acids, acid or sulfuric acid. Include those 5 acids in solution if at least 20% of the weight of the solution is one of the 5 acidic acids. The new tank means the tank was when installed with January 7, 1992. Non-residual means the tank is not used by the private dwelling. The operator means any purpose of the operating facility, whether it be the lease, contractor, or other form of the arrangement. Owner means any of the person owning the above-ground tank subject to Section 376, 320 through 326 Florida State Statute. Permitted wastewater treatment system means the facility with the department has issued a permit to treat the wastewater with the release of the treated product into the environment. Secondary containment means of the system that is used for the release of the prevention may include one or more of the following devices: a double-walled tank, the external liner of the system of the structure constructed such that the accident and release from the tank of the tank would be collected with the drain system within the system structure throughout the permitted wastewater treatment system plant, recirculating process system, or an alternative contamination system approved with the department in accordance with Rule 62, 762, 85.1. Stationary means the tank of the tank is not meant with the multiple site used to remain in one location of the facility site for the period of 180 days or longer. Tank may means of the above ground stationary device that constructed primarily non-earthen materials, concrete, metal, plastic, glass, or provided with the structural support designed primarily to contain mineral acids. Connected piping from the tank, including the nearest cutoff valve, that should be considered part of the tank for purpose of the definition. Tank does not include the flow through process. Tanks upgraded means the replacement of the tank and the installation of the secondary containment. Applicability requirements of the rules apply for the owners, operators, facilities with the above-ground storage tank with the storage capacity with more than 110 gallons for containing the mineral acids. The following system are except with the requirements for this rule: any mobile skid tank with moved in at least 100 every 180 days. Any tank containing mineral acid that has less than 20% of the weight of the solution. Any tank of 110 gallons or less capacity that contains mineral acids. Any flow through the process of the tank. Any tank containing the mineral acids that are regulated with the hazardous waste under the subtitle C with the Resource Conservation Recovery Act registration. A. The owner of any tank containing the mineral acid shall register with the tank of the department on the form 62, 761, 902. Completed registration form shall be submitted with the department by July 1st, 1992. No later than 30 days after the mineral acids are put in the new storage tank of each facility shall receive the registration placard upon the payment of the applicable fees. The placard should be available for the inspection of the department filed with the records maintained in accordance with the Rule 62, 762, and 89.1 Florida Administrative Codes. Registration fees. The registration fees are due from the owner of the operator for all registered tanks that are indicated with the subsection registration fee schedule. Alright, within 30 days after the receipt of the notification of the department, the following fees shall be submitted with $50 per tank of the initial annual registration, $25 per tank of the annual renewal tanks with a capacity of 125,000 gallons or less, $1 per every 5,000 gallons of the storage capacity per tank of the annual renewal tanks for the capacity of the greater than 125,000 gallons. Total annual registration fees for the renewal shall be not exceed $2,500 per facility. Notification of the department shall be notified of the following items of the Form 62, 761, 902. The date, method of closure at least 30 days before the closure of the tank. Any change of the ownership of the tank no later than 30 days after the ownership has been transferred. The notice of the change ownership shall be provided with the transfer. The notice shall include the copy of the bill of the sales and letter of acceptance of the new owner upgrading the tank at least 10 days before the upgrading occurs, except for the emergency replacement of the tanks connected with the piping required by actual anticipated with the discharge notification. Emergency replacement plan should be provided within 10 days after the emergency replacement. Alright, any change with the registration for the information, including any of the change identity with the material being stored with the department, shall be notified of the certain certification of the SIP with the secondary containment system for the Form 62, 762, 89.1.1 within 10 days of the completion of this form. The contamination integrity plan certification form shall be designed by a professional engineer registered with the state of Florida. Within 3 working days of the day of the discovery, the department shall be notified any of the release and secondary contamination system with the mineral acid in excess of 110 gallons of the reportable quantity and effective July 1st, 1991, under the Comprehensive Environmental Response Compensation Liability Act of 1980, whichever is greater. Reporting discharge within 24 hours of the discovery before the close of the next business day of the Form 62, 761, 901 shall be reported to any discharge exceeding 100 pounds of the hydrobaric, hydrofluoric acid, 1,000 pounds of sulfuric acid, 5,000 pounds of hydrochloric or phosphoric acid, 7 performance standards of mineral acid tanks. The general existing mineral acid storage facilities that were operation after January 1st, 1992 shall have either a CIP or secondary containment, neither new or replacement mineral acid tanks installed with after July 1st, 1992 have secondary containment with integrity plans. Containment integrity plans should be included with the procedure requirements to minimize the risk of spills. Release discharge from the tanks. The containment integrity plans should be reviewed, updated at least every 2 years by the professional engineer registered in the state of Florida to continue Containment integrity plan shall be made available for the inspection by the department and shall be addressed as an inspection for the maintenance program detailing the qualification of the person provided with the inspection. The inspection routine maintenance procedure of the schedule used to evaluate, maintain the integrity of the tank. Secondary containment, if applicable, the release detection procedure for frequency inspection, proper response for the inspection, find the material, the construction of each of the tank, the compatibility for the mineral ads for the construction materials. Secondary containment of the tanks, if applicable, location, surface water, the body near the tank, the potential for the discharge of the insert, the surface water body to move off the site of the discharge for response procedure for the containment and abatement, cleanup procedure for the tanks without secondary containment. The contamination integrity plan shall be also addressed. Procedure equipment, the treating of spill waste, procedure for disposing spill waste, contaminating, diversing structures to prevent discharge for the entire nearby surface water bodies and moving off site. Demonstrating corrosion protection of the tanks if the tanks are in contact with the soil. Contamination integrity plan alternatives in place for the contamination. Integrity plan, all certification may be provided with the department by the professional engineer registered with the state of Florida. No mineral acid tank with the facility plan is in direct contact with the ground and a secondary contamination system has been placed under the and each around the tank of the seal with to support secondary contamination shall be either designed and built to contain excess of 110% of the capacity of the largest tank with the containment, equipped with the drainage system routed with the permitted wastewater treatment system that is capable of containing any of the accidental release of the tank. Secondary containment of the tank is installed, but after July 1st, 1992, still have the secondary containment meet the requirements of the section before the tank is placed into active service liners and use the secondary containment that are installed, but after July 13th, 1998, shall meet the requirements of subparagraph 62.762.5011E with the 133 Florida Administrative Code certification and professional engineer registration with the state of Florida shall certify. Alright, where were we? Let's start at number one. Normal mineral acid tank of the facility, direct contact with the ground. The secondary containment system has to be placed under around each tank of the facility in its compartment. Sealed and support secondary containment shall be either designed to build the excess of 110% of the capacity of the largest tank within the containment, equipped with the drainage system required with the permitted wastewater system, treatment system capable of containing accidental release from the tank. The secondary containment of the tank is installed with it after July 1st, 1992, shall have the secondary containment. Meet of the requirements section before the tank is placed from the active surface liners used for the secondary containment that is installed with it after July 13th, 1998, shall meet the requirements subparagraph 62.762.5011E1 through 3, and Florida Administrative Code certification of professional engineer registered with the state of Florida shall certify the tanks are covered with the containment integrity management plan, that the facility has not been inspected, been maintenance plans according to the CIP, that the integral containment of the tanks has not been compromised. For the purpose of the certification, maintenance will be presumed to have performed. The professional engineer verifies the record to demonstrate the compliance with the subsection are available to complete the indicate proper performance maintenance. The tanks have been secondary contaminated in accordance with the subsection record. Keeping a copy of the following shall be maintained and made available for the inspection for the department at the reasonable time. The containment integrity plan with the certification secondary containment the discharge response to the evidence of discharge from the tank is discovered and reported in accordance with the subsection 62.76.8916 8916 and Florida Administrative Code. The operator shall remove such of the mineral acid from the tank as necessary to prevent further discharge. Prepare the tank in accordance with the original design specification. If the storage tank cannot be repaired, all mineral acid should be removed from the tank, and the tank shall be permanently closed. An owner of the operative facility discharge mineral acid should immediately undertake to contain, remove, neutralize, or otherwise abate the discharge forms. Copies of the forms to be obtained with the writing of the Administrative Storage Tank Regulation, Section Florida Department of Environmental Protection, 2600 Blairstown Road, Tallahassee, Florida 32399-2400. The following forms shall be used for mineral acid tanks. The discharge report form 62.76.901. 62.76.1.901, the rule July 13th, 1998. Storage tank facility registration form 62.761.902, July 13th, 1998. Contamination integral certification plan 62.762.89.1, July 13th, 1998. Special authority 36.30.22.3, the 403.087 Florida State Law implemented 376.32.24, 376.325, 403.087 Florida History News, June 21st, 2004. And that completes the reading of the petroleum storage systems at 62.762 Florida Administrative Code.